I'm Jackie Bushore, and I serve as pastor at the church on Oakland Park in the Linden neighborhood of Columbus. The church on Oakland Park, previously Linden Lutheran at its inception, was one of the first churches to become established in this neighborhood when this neighborhood first started to grow in the early 1950s. And the church grew so quickly as this neighborhood was growing that the building had to be expanded twice in the first 10 years of its existence. So this has not always been a struggling congregation, but the neighborhood has changed drastically around this church in the last 30 years, especially, as is the story with a lot of urban neighborhoods where the building of interstates and different things have shifted the demographics and have left whole neighborhoods of people behind. When I first arrived at Oakland Park about a year and a half ago, one of the first things that I noticed about them is that they understood deeply that the core of their purpose was to be the hands and feet of Jesus in this place, in this neighborhood, and to the community around it. That they were adamantly devoted to the kids of this neighborhood, that they were very serious about making sure that the needs of their neighbors were met. They are, and have been as long as I have known them, one of the most genuinely welcoming and accepting people I have ever met. Oakland Park has partnered with lots of different groups around the last year and a half, especially while we have been working together with our neighbors to get through the challenges of the pandemic. So we have partnered well with Lutheran Social Services, who have helped us to expand our food pantry, which for years was a once a month produce distribution. At the beginning of the pandemic, we realized that our neighbors were going to be in much more need, and so we increased that ministry to a weekly ministry and are now serving more than twice as many families per week than we were per month before the pandemic. And that is largely due to the support of Lutheran Social Services and their partnership with us, as well as the partnership that we have experienced from neighbors all over the city. We had raised, at this point, nearly $19,000 to support our food ministry and to keep this moving well into the future while our neighbors continue to recover from the economic impacts of the pandemic. Jesus work the most clearly through the people of Oakland Park, in that you can't tell the difference between who's a part of us and who's not. That the people who are here every Wednesday helping to serve alongside us are people who have come from different churches all over the city. They're people who live in the neighborhood and were receiving food from us and decided that they wanted to come and help. And what has come out of this in the last year and a half is one of the most beautiful little communities, churches, that I ever could have imagined, with the people who are serving alongside each other each week.
And you're not even in the building?
No.
Okay, so I guess that's blowing my mind a bit. Like, the church has left the building.
Mm-hmm. So I live on the west side of Columbus in the Hilltop neighborhood, and I had been a part of a community, a worshiping community there, and doing mission and service work and just being a part of what was happening there for close to 10 years when I realized that I was being called to service in a deeper way. So I started my journey to seminary knowing that work in these communities is exactly what I wanted to be doing, and the Synod heard that and honored that when this opportunity became available here at Oakland Park. They were in need of a pastor, and I was barely ready to start an internship, but they made the connection between the two of us, and this became my internship site with the support of Trinity Lutheran Seminary and the Synod staff. We were able to make this partnership work, and the people at the church on Oakland Park and I fell in love with each other right away, and we have been doing community-based, neighborhood-based ministry together ever since. So my ordination did happen mid-pandemic here at Oakland Park, and like everything else mid-pandemic, it had to be a little bit different. So we did my ordination out in the parking lot of the church underneath the same tents that we use every week to serve 175 families food. And to be really honest with you, even if it wasn't in the middle of a pandemic and we could have done the ordination inside, I still would have wanted it to be the exact same way, because those tents and the work that has happened there and the community that has developed under those tents over the last year and a half has been the most beautiful thing that we have done during this time. And for me, it just symbolizes the importance of an active faith, one that puts the love of Jesus into practice, and one that is open and acceptable to our neighbors, not one that just lives inside the walls of the church.